Today on Rappler. Will Gigi Reyes' release pave the way for the release of Laila de Lima? Human rights lawyer Ted Te thinks so. The police, acting on the orders of the DILG and NTF-ELCAC, apologizes for harassing an onion farmer. President Marcos says the South China Sea tension keeps him up at night. A survey says hungry Filipino families increased to 3 million last December. Police arrest vloggers over a gasoline prank in Davao de Oro. Social media users slammed the BBC over a sexist and tone-deaf headline on Jacinda Ardern's resignation. And Felip, or SB19's Ken, returns with his latest single, ROCKSTA. Detained former Senator Laila de Lima can ask the Supreme Court for her temporary liberty following the High Court's ruling which granted Gigi Reyes her temporary release from jail. Reyes, the former Chief of Staff of Presidential Legal Counsel Juan Ponce Enrile, was released from jail on Thursday, January 19, after the SC granted her the privilege of writ of habeas corpus, ruling her detention had, quote, become oppressive, thus infringing upon her right to liberty. Reyes had been in jail since 2014 after graft and plunder charges. Former SC spokesperson and human rights lawyer Ted Te says de Lima should file a petition asking for the same privilege to test the interim writ's application. De Lima has been detained for almost 6 years for drug charges. The Philippine National Police apologizes after Senator Imee Marcos reveals policemen repeatedly visited an onion farmer who testified in a Senate hearing. Marcos says the harassment was prompted by an order from the Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG, and the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict, or NTF-ELCAC. Gallardo tells the Senate her husband took his own life after an armyworm infestation and a series of bad weather incidents repeatedly destroyed their crops. In the days following the hearing, Gallardo says uniformed PNP personnel went to her home 8 times in a span of 2 days, with the latest visit stretching past 11 p.m. During the visits, they asked her to sign a statement recanting her Senate testimony, which Gallardo refused to sign. PNP Public Information Office Chief Police Colonel Rodrigo Maranan apologizes for the incident, saying it was not the intention of the police to incite fear. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. says tensions in the South China Sea occupy his mind during most of the day. The revelations were made in a conversation with World Economic Forum President Borge Brende in Davos, Switzerland.
Keeps you up at night, it keeps you up in the day, keeps you up most of the time. It's very dynamic. It's constantly in flux. So you have to pay attention to it and to make sure that you are at least aware of the present situation so that you are able to respond properly.
Meantime, the Philippines and the United States are in talks about potentially holding a 2+2 meeting of top diplomatic and defense officials by March. Philippine Ambassador to the United States Jose Manuel Romualdez confirms a Nikkei report about the talks, the first in 7 years. The agenda would reportedly include issues such as tension over the South China Sea and Taiwan. A survey shows around 3 million Filipino families had nothing to eat at least once in the past 3 months. The latest Social Weather Station survey shows the 11.8% hunger rate in the Philippines captured in December 2022 is slightly higher than both the 11.3% hunger rate in October 2022 and 11.6% in June 2022. In the latest survey, the hunger rate was highest in Mindanao at 12.7%, followed by Visayas at 12%, Metro Manila at 11.7%, and Balance Luzon at 11.3%. Inflation has since soared to 8.1%, the highest recorded since November 2008. Meantime, the Social Security system implements in January 2023 a higher members' contribution rate of 14%, up from 13% the previous year. The share of employers is now at 9.5%, while the employee's share of contribution of those earning 25,000 pesos or less monthly remains at 4.5%. Police arrest vloggers Jonel Cordero and Arnold Rabi for their ill-conceived prank in Mawab, Davao de Oro province. Cordero pretended to drink gasoline from a soft drink bottle while Rabi secretly recorded the scene. Onlookers panicked at the sight of Cordero fainting and vomiting and called the town's Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office for assistance. As the first aid team rushed to the scene, Cordero broke into laughter, revealing the whole thing to be a prank for his social media vlog. He had switched the bottles with an energy drink which had the same color as the gasoline. Davao Police spokesperson Police Major Yudisan Gultiano says pranks like this diverts valuable resources away from where they are truly needed. Police say the vloggers would be charged with alarm and scandal, which carries a penalty of 30 days of imprisonment and a fine of 40,000 pesos. Social media users slammed the British Broadcasting Corporation over a sexist and tone-deaf headline on the resignation of New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern. The initial headline of the news article read, "Jacinda Ardern resigns. Can women really have it all?" It has since been changed to "Jacinda Ardern resigns. Departure reveals unique pressures on PM." Psychiatry doctor Kate Wormsley of UK's National Health Service was among the first to slam the headline, calling it a disgrace in her now viral tweet. Julie Pozzetti of the International Center for Journalists asks how the culture in the BBC allowed the headline to be published. Human rights lawyer Kasim Rashid compares the headline to BBC's coverage of former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's resignation. He says Johnson was ousted in a whirlwind of scandal, but BBC humanizes him for the pain he feels. He says Ardern gracefully led New Zealand through historic upheavals and leaves on her terms, and BBC dismisses her as a failure and quitter. SB19's Ken Suson strikes out on his own with the release of his latest single, Rockstar, under his solo project, Felip. The track is released on Thursday, January 19, along with a music video. In the track, Felip leans into hip-hop and R&B for the short but memorable track, which clocks in at 1 minute and 47 seconds. The song teases Felip's debut solo EP, Complex, which is set to be released on February 3. The EP comes after Felip released his first solo single, Palayo, in September 2021, followed by Bulan in May 2022. Felip is the first member of SB19 to make his solo debut. SB19 recently ended its first world tour. And that's today's wrap. I'm Amanda Lago. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. Follow us on Rappler's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.